Cool. I gotta find out where we're already recording. I can trim this whenever. It'll probably upload in the background later on when we're playing Fortnite. But action. What's up, gamers? Welcome to the nice. Welcome to the FamiCock.
Welcome to FamiCock. 4 gamers by
4 gamers, 1 Discord.
Oof. All right.
What's up, gamers? Welcome to the FamiComrades podcast. Welcome to episode 1 of our podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John Tendo64.
And I'm Toasty B1.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the recent Halo Master Chief skin leak for Fortnite. So those of you who don't know, there was recently a data mine that shows a Master Chief collaboration between Microsoft and Epic Games, basically bringing in Master Chief as a skin in Fortnite. Now, if you don't play Fortnite, or if you don't have the Battle Pass, or if you somehow live under a rock, basically what happened is Kratos was one of the first skins for the Battle Pass this season, Chapter 2, Season 5 in Fortnite. And I'm sure, as you all know, Kratos is a character from, the PlayStation arsenal. Now, and Toasty, feel free to come in or cut me off whenever you want. But
Right.
Kratos, my personal opinion as a Nintendo fan and as somebody who has grown up on PlayStation is Nintendo and Sony are similar in the ways that they kind of don't want their IPs on opposing platforms. Not that it is impossible or has never happened or will never happen. But, Nintendo, when do you see Mario on PlayStation or Xbox or on your what other platform have you? And I guess you could say the same about, certain Sony franchises. And in my eyes, I think that Kratos being a skin in Fortnite is kind of a big deal. And that kind of solidifies, I mean, it is leaked, it's part of the files, the Master Chief, it's coming. But seeing Kratos already being here, and considering that Sony would be the ones who are a little more uptight, I would say, about it than Microsoft, I think that this is a big deal.
Definitely. But here's the thing about Kratos specifically, and that I think is kind of going in line with the rest of the Gaming Legends series, is that each of them have a new game coming out. It may not be soon, but there is a new God of War game announced. There is a new Halo game announced, right? And then for our yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then
yeah, and basically we wanted to bring this point up later on, but I guess we'll bring it up now. We firmly believe there was a rumor going around. I have to find it, but there was a rumor going around. Actually, one of our other podcast members brought it up yesterday, which is why this was actually supposed to be a different topic altogether, the first episode. But long story short, the rumor that we decided to make this video on was that SAMUS is rumored, not leaked or anything yet, but rumored to be another character coming to the Battle Royale game. And that, like I said, that would be a really big deal. And as Toasty was saying, each of these 3 characters, Kratos, Master Chief, and Samus, all have new games coming out in their respective franchises. There is a new God of War game officially announced. Halo Infinite technically was announced, was supposed to come out this year, but unfortunately ran into technical difficulties. And years ago, Metroid Prime 4 was announced.
And half a decade ago, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. So, I came up with the bulk of this theory that basically Epic wanted to, because basically, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. Fortnite, Epic, whatever, they put in a section in the item shop in Fortnite that is essentially called, correct me if I'm wrong, you said it's Gaming Legends, right?
Yep.
Yeah. okay, so gaming legends. Now, if you're already playing season 5, then you know that, the Mandalorian is there, but Mandalorian isn't necessarily from a game so much as he's from like a show and like an upper more of a movie franchise kind of thing. So, like Kratos being there, Master Chief being leaked, like it all kind of makes sense. And I have some supporting arguments actually. I might go back and forth between different franchises, but essentially, like my biggest reasoning behind Samus is even though I do believe that Nintendo is very uptight about their franchises, considering especially some of the recent events that's happened with the Smash Brothers community. Say what you will about them, but still a good point. Canceling the recent Splatoon 2 tournament that was supposed to happen. Nintendo does keep a tight rein on their franchises, but my one of my biggest things is it just makes so much sense for Epic to be able to convince Nintendo to be like, hey, we could really use Samus in the game, have some handshakes or whatever that, because here's how it works. In my, like, from what I know, um Sony advertised Fortnite as a launch title for PS5, like that it would be ready to play on PS5 pretty much instantly. And that's, say what you will about that, but I think that's a pretty big deal considering Fortnite is an ongoing game. It's still a very popular game with still like millions of players worldwide, us included. And Kratos being a representative of PlayStation is kind of like both of those are like give and takes. You could kind of argue that Epic, however the conversation went down between the two companies, was basically something along the lines of, hey, can we get Kratos in Fortnite? And I could definitely see Sony being like, nah, unless you let us basically get a jump on the gun from Xbox and say that Fortnite is ready to go on PS5, and then Epic just basically being like, yeah, like I could see that working out. And then having to approach Microsoft is probably the easiest thing on the planet. I mean, look at what Microsoft or Xbox has been doing, like the past 5 years solid. They've been repositioning themselves as a gaming company that doesn't want to do this whole console war thing. They want everybody to be able to play games no matter what portal they're going through, whether you have an Xbox, a PlayStation, a PC, a Switch, a last generation device. They want you to be able to play video games. Like that's the thing. They're trying to unify everybody. And Epic coming up to Microsoft or 343, whoever needed to, get the licensing, I'm sure it was super simple. Like, hey, can we get Master Chief in Fortnite? Yeah, hell yeah. Like, like,
Yeah.
like I
Most
Go
most
ahead.
certainly, I think it'd be really easy to get Master Chief in after all the shit that went in Smash specifically, because like
Mm-hmm.
having Banjo come back, having Steve come in, like they've been very open with their properties, which is totally different than the two other major companies right now. Like I think getting Master Chief is probably like other than the fact that it's already leaked. If that was just a rumor, that's probably the most solid thing that I think anyone could say right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I think like granted, as we said, that Microsoft has pretty much opened the doors for like, hey, let's, like, Microsoft is basically the friend in the group who's like, yo, I'm down to chill literally whenever. Like I guarantee, like any other game developer hits them up and be like, can we have Master Chief as like a playable character in this game? I'm sure they would be like, yeah, why not? And again, like I really expect Sony, like out of the two that are confirmed, of course Nintendo is definitely more up there about like we don't want our stuff on any other opposing thing, or you have to use our IP the right way, but that's still just a rumor. But
Well,
seeing
and then you have Ubisoft, that did Mario Rabbids, right?
right,
So like they've recently started to kind of like go back into letting people
use their
use it,
stuff.
but again, that game's still only on Switch, so it's not like a big thing, right? But
Right, but no, that's still a good point. Exactly. Yeah, that's an excellent point because, as far as I know, I don't know the whole I should have done a little more research on that. As far as I know, Ubisoft completely developed that game. Like they just pretty much got the assets from Nintendo, but they like wrote the game from the ground up, including like rigging the assets and whatnot. So,
yeah,
that being said, I as Ubisoft is allowed to use that, and other, there's other, collabs between Nintendo and other companies. I like that's part of why I think that, like, out of the two, I really would have expected Sony to be like, no, that's not happening. I mean, like, no offense to Sony, but they were the ones who really didn't want crossplay to be a thing, like, at all, especially on Fortnite. Like,
That's a good point.
I remember, like, right around the transition from Chapter 1 to 2, that was when, Epic was like, hey, we want to do this cross-platform thing. And Microsoft was like, hell yeah. Nintendo was like, hell yeah. And then Sony was like, nah, your account is locked. Go get screwed.
Yeah.
And, like, like, seeing them turn around from that and be like, nah, how about we just even put Kratos in the game? That to me is big. So, moving on to some of the bigger points with Samus, again, and I don't know how many times I'm going to have to reiterate this before we get the angry people in the comments who are like, oh, it's not confirmed, or, say it doesn't actually happen, and, like, we just... I still think this is a good theory, a good avenue to explore, is that, if Samus were to be in the files, like, here's the thing, right? With a game like Fortnite, and, like, with a game as big as Fortnite, they're trying their hardest to really be open and put on a good face for people, right? Um,
Hmm.
season 5, all the seasons are kind of linked in their own ways, even if the battle passes are not the same. But here's the thing, and some context for those of you who don't, let's say you don't know anything about Fortnite. Last season, Chapter 2, Season 4 of Fortnite was a big, massive collaboration between Marvel and Fortnite. There was a Nexus War thing where essentially Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, came to the island and absolutely destroyed everything. You got to play as characters such as Iron Man, Thor, She-Hulk, Mystique, etc. Now, what makes this a very interesting thing is this was supposed to be a tie-in to the recent Thor comics that had released. I believe it's Thor Herald of Galactus. I don't remember the name exactly, but it's Thor Herald of.
I believe
And
that's it. Yeah.
yeah, and those comics, like the events that happened in the game, are like legitimate canon to the comics. There's actually like there's a Fortnite comic, and in both lines you can see crossovers that reference the game, and vice versa. Like the stuff that happened last season like happened in the comics. So that's really awesome. Something that I keep forgetting when it comes to non-movie aspects of Marvel is that Marvel is owned by Disney. Now, like I said, like I know Marvel's owned by Disney, but I only really keep that in mind when I'm watching the movies and stuff. I actually forget about that when it comes to games or comics or really any other version of the IP. And considering that, they were able to work with Disney to give them this big crossover, you at the end of season 4 and currently as of this video, you could still do this if you basically put like any money into Fortnite. Like if you bought the battle pass or you got any of the skins, really, you would get 2 months free of Disney Plus. Now that's really good because if you don't know, Star Wars is also owned by Disney. Why does this matter? Because The Mandalorian is part of Star Wars, part of Disney, and The Mandalorian is a skin in season 5. Now, granted, Disney doesn't really have anything to do with the whole season 5 thing. That's just to give you some context as to like the whole season 5 basically is about bounty hunters. Kratos, Master Chief, Samus, The Mandalorian, they all fall under this category. And if if they were able to work with Disney for 2 battle passes to get like any amount of content through 2 battle passes, giving you Disney Plus, if they were able to work with Sony, if they were able to work with Microsoft, I don't see why they can't work with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Also, considering the fact that this is quote unquote new for the States, but those of you who are in the UK and the greater European Union, there was the Fortnite Nintendo Switch Wildcat bundle, which was like a Fortnite themed Switch. Like the Switch itself, the dock, it was a whole special edition console. themed around Fortnite. That just like a month ago, came to the States. Now, I don't really think that's a coincidence when you consider all the stuff that Epic has been doing to really bolster themselves for this chapter. The reason why I had brought up Disney before and why I'm bringing up the Wildcat bundle now is losing my train of thought here. Oh, is about planning. So, with a game like Fortnite, as I was trying to say before, they have to have planned this stuff out like 2 battle passes in advance. That whole Marvel Nexus War Season 4 was definitely in development, in the works, since at least like the earliest Season 2, Chapter 2. Like, because think of it this way: say Disney decided to pull out, they would have to retool or have a backup plan ready to go when Season 4 is live, and that same kind of thing would have to carry over to now Season 5. Did I say Season 5 a minute ago? I meant to say Season 4 for the Nexus War thing, but that still technically applies. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm tripping over my words here. But that still kind of applies, going into this. If even like again, let's say Samus doesn't exist in Fortnite ever, even Kratos and Master Chief, um, they'd have to have talked to Sony and Microsoft at least a season ago and be like, "Yo, can we get these guys as skins?" And then each company would have had to be like, "Yeah." And say if they decided they didn't want to do that, like it doesn't happen in like it's not like a text. It doesn't happen in like 1 minute or even a day. That probably takes weeks or months of like considering negotiations, planning, etc. They both companies. It's not just like, okay, let's take the asset and us Epic can do whatever we want with it. Like, no, it's clearly like it has to be hand in hand with Sony and Epic, Microsoft and Epic, to be like, okay, here's what X character can do, here's what X character can't do, here's the context we don't want. Like, like it.
Imagine if it did.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
absolutely crazy.
like we just get a look at it, and they're like, "Hey, we want a Master Chief," and they're like, "Ah, we weren't really doing anything, sure."
just keeps
Like,
them. 343 is like, you know what? Epic now does. Imagine Halo being driven by Epic though. But yeah, that's like that's the kind of thing. So for them, for basically, my biggest points are for the Season 4 to have existed, for the comics to have come out the way that they did, for Season 4's ending segueing directly into Season 5's beginning, right off the bat with Galactus destroying the island. There's now the 0 point, this cross-dimensional thing. And that cross-dimensional thing or multiverse thing also opens up another can of worms for a different episode. But the fact that even happened opens up so many doors, and that's part of why I actually should have mentioned this earlier. That's part of why what makes Season 5 kind of special and these skins coming so hype. I mean, I'm definitely going to be picking up the skins, but it's like seeing Kratos and Master Chief and the Mandalorian all next to each other. That's mind-blowing. That's like, like it's just the same way that last season, we had all these Marvel characters who, they don't know anybody in the fort. Like, who's Jonesy to know Thor,
Yeah.
But now they know each other, or they have, they've crossed, they've been in each other's universes in one way or another. So, this bolsters the multiverse thing, and that's why I think Samus is totally feasible. Whether it'll happen or not, we'll have to see how that plays out. But I see it as a possibility. And also remember, Samus is a bounty hunter. The season's theme is it just all makes so much sense. And
The other big thing is that I feel like it would be really hollow to have these two huge reps for both companies, and then just Nintendo to not hop in on that. Like I don't know, man. Imagine if we just had Sony big rep, Microsoft big rep, and then
Disney,
Sega,
even Disney. Oh
Yeah.
man, we didn't even think about that before we came on here. Sega, like imagine. I mean, Sonic's not a bounty hunter, but imagine Sonic. But like, there's definitely a Sega bounty hunter out there. I'm not too well versed in Sega's IPs, but like,
there's obviously other options from other companies that you could do.
Of course.
But like, if Nintendo didn't hop in on this, I would be really surprised. It looks like a very good opportunity. Samus is the right proportions for a character. You wouldn't really need to stretch anything too far.
Mm-hmm.
There's already great ideas for back blings, gliders. Like it just
Yeah,
seems
you were
too
mentioning
good.
the
And I would
back
love to have
bling.
an emote where it goes into the little ball. I feel like that would be hilarious. Have a little traversal.
Oh my god, that was big brain. Yeah.
Yeah, like her ship could be her glider. Like the back bling is a flying Metroid. It's it just seems too easy, you know.
Absolutely. And
Um,
mm-hmm.
and for see, because that's the other thing is each skin is going from what we know about Kratos with the PS5 exclusive skin. It seems that each skin is going to have their own exclusive variant that you obtain by playing on their console.
Oh, wait, real quick, we didn't mention that. Yeah, so the Kratos skin itself isn't exclusive, but there is like an upgraded purely cosmetic if you just play one match on a PS5 at any point, it's not timed or anything, at any point you get like an upgraded Kratos skin, but yeah.
Yeah, and so for Master Chief, you can get a Master Chief variant. Hopefully, that isn't confirmed, but hopefully. And if that is, I would not see a reason why Nintendo wouldn't hop on the idea of putting in Samus because that makes more players hop onto your version of Fortnite as well, which
Yeah.
is is probably a lower chance of people going on Switch if you didn't already have a Switch just because like graphically and whatever on the PS5 and PC, it's a massive difference, right?
Right,
But
right,
if
right.
you have an exclusive variant to a really cool skin, it'll get more people onto your platform one way or another.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Because I was mentioning prior to the actual recording that like imagine like since we do have that, you can get Kratos on any version of the item shop, but you get the upgraded one through Sony's like through like, just by playing on a place. Like imagine whatever like we might like let's assume that we're getting Halo Infinite's Mjolnir armor variant of Master Chief as like the stock one in I I
Mm.
I would not be opposed to if they did something where like okay, you can get Master Chief on any platform same as Kratos, but if you play on an Xbox or a PC, then you get like, you get the Mjolnir 3 or whatever, the Mark 2, the Mark 3 Mjolnir armor from like Halo 2, Halo 3, or even Halo 4's Mjolnir armor, or just basically you get my point, any Mjolnir like that. I could see that happening. And you also
Yeah.
mentioned too, which made me think of that. This was your point that like imagine playing on the Switch and then you get like you get what was it, Dark Samus, and you said
Dark Samus or the
Fusion.
fusion suit because they've been really pushing the fusion suit. That was something that was in Samus Returns on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you put in one of the amiibo, you would get to play as the fusion suit. The fusion suit has been an alt in a few Smash games now, and like I think it would be a really easy and cool variant to have. And Dark Samus would be really interesting too, because like when you have the idle character animations, um, like how Venom's hunched over, Wolverine's hunched over, Psylocke floats, Dark Samus floats as well, and has all of their like cool little interesting idols, and the texture on their armor would be really really cool to see in the Fortnite style. I'd be really interested to see how they pull Samus off. Like oh man, it just makes me
I
so
just had
happy.
another thought too. As an alt skin, I mean, this may not happen, but what if we get like Zero Suit Samus as like
That's true.
you have to do like her awakening well, not necessarily, but you have to do her challenges or whatever, and then you can
Oh
get like Zero
yeah,
Suit Samus as like an alt
because
skin just through an emote.
yeah,
Like that would be
because
cool.
some of the skins through like actually Tomato
Iron
Head,
Man, for example. Yeah, Tomato Head.
yeah, Tomato Head, who's in the shop as we're talking about this, actually has challenges that come with his skin.
Yeah, or like as I
Um,
was mentioning Iron Man, like if you played last Battle Pass, um like there's a if you completed Tony Stark's emote if you completed Tony Stark's awakening challenges and got to level 100 on the Battle Pass, that's only because like Tony Stark is 93 on the Battle Pass, then you would get like the emote that makes a Tony Stark into Iron Man, and it's all one technically all one skin. Just like you would have to emote to switch between them. Like I could totally see that happening.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea to emote and then have it switch out of the armor on Samus.
And I also just really quick wanted to backtrack to an earlier point. When we were talking about the platforms, like, oh, imagine getting like an exclusive variant on an already universal skin. The whole reason I brought up the Wildcat Nintendo Switch bundle is because why would they re release that right now? Think about that. That's been in the UK for quite some time. I don't remember exactly when it launched, but it launched a while ago. Like long enough for me to have like it was like a distant memory when I heard about it here in the States, and that's why I missed it. Like I could see it being like a whole refresh and be like, hey, now like imagine not having owned a Switch, and then buying that one, and then they drop this Samus skin on you because you bought the battle pass. Because look, you're not gonna buy the Fortnite Switch if you're not gonna play Fortnite on the console like that. Like who does that? Like that's like buying like a Splatoon 2 variant of the Switch and then not playing Splatoon 2 on it. I mean, sure, there's going to be those one or two people who don't, but the point being, it's like imagine hopping on Fortnite, you're buying the Battle Pass, you don't even know what's really going on. You're just like, yeah, I'm a Fortnite fan, I'm gonna hop on that Battle Pass, and then you get Samus on the Switch. And then through playing on the Switch, you get her variants or whatever. Like that, to me, that's a big brain no brainer.
Yeah, oh man, just the possibility of that is getting me so hyped, bro. Like, especially with how good Kratos looks, I'm so excited to see Master Chief on my screen. You know,
Oh
and
yeah.
and like they've made Samus look so good in Ultimate
That's
that
true. There's many different arts, like different art styles for Samus that like
mhm.
she would fit right into Fortnite's. Yeah. Go
Oh,
on though.
absolutely. Um, yeah, dude, it's so good. And like it would be really easy to make a zero suit skin, like they'd be able to pull that off just fine. So it's like I just don't see a reason why not. Like people have their doubts and that's understandable. But from a company and a marketing standpoint, it just seems like too good of a play. Like how hard could it possibly be
Oh
to
yeah.
throw together these assets? Right? And it's not like they're the ones that are going to be doing it. Sure,
You,
they could oversee it, but Epic is the one that is going to be putting in the legwork of making this, right?
exactly. All they need is the licensing and whatever the terms are for like using the skin or the assets or whatever.
Hmm.
But yo, you know what's another point that I totally forgot about?
Yeah.
Ah man, I just forgot about it again. Oh, it was this could also just be a huge, massive drop. This is really stretching. Like I said, the Samus thing as a subject, period, is already a rumor. There is no confirmation, there's no leak yet. That's still strictly a rumor. But, like, let's say that it does get leaked. Imagine that Nintendo is dropping Samus because they're going to end up dropping Metroid Prime 4, like, within that same year or, like, the next
Mega
year.
soon. Yeah,
Like
that'd be cool.
that would be a massive bomb because like we said, God of War is getting its game soon, and at least like even if you haven't even played the last one, the God of War that was on PS4, that's playable on PS5.
Yep.
Halo Infinite's going to be out pretty soon. It was supposed to be a launch title, but it's still coming out like really soon. I don't remember when they confirmed it for, but it's still coming out like really soon. And then like just imagine like somehow that's just Epic trying to promote these games too. Like imagine like who knows like what if it's available in the Epic Game Store like the God of War game and the Halo game.
That'd be
And then
crazy.
Nintendo cuz obviously that's never coming to PC, but like imagine Metroid Prime 4 just drops the same like all three of these games drop the same year. Nah. That's like boom, that's an atomic bomb dropped on all of our consoles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My wallet be empty. Um,
Right. But
yeah, it'd be really like a really great idea. I don't see maybe where else Nintendo could really go other than Samus because it just fits so well because it goes right with the theme of bounty hunters, right? But I don't know. It all seems to line up. I haven't seen anything else that looks like it would maybe replace that or debunk that. Um, and until either we see like a confirmed leak or someone manages to debunk it, I'm all for this theory. Like, absolutely.
yeah, same. And like we have to reiterate, it's just a theory. A game theory. Oh God.
God damn it.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. I mean, I think that's it for now, unless Toasty or Quinn, who's silent in the chat, has anything to like maybe add or nitpick. But I think that's it for now.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
All right. Well, guys, if you enjoyed our first FamiComrades podcast episode, please leave us a like, subscribe, follow whatever platform we're on. For now, this is gonna go up on YouTube, but I will probably post it somewhere else too. Let us know what you guys think, please, because we're gonna be ramping up the content pretty soon. We're gonna be covering the Game Awards pretty soon too. So yeah, until next time, guys. John Tendo 64 out.
Toasty B1 out. Oh man.
And that is the FamiComrades podcast episode 1. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.